Halo, selamat hari Jumat. Selamat datang di MG Connect seperti biasa dengan saya Dimas, yang bakal ngobrolin tentang kali ini, kayaknya animo buat jalan-jalan itu udah sangat-sangat tinggi ya gitu ya. So I'm excited, for today's session to talk about, Sri Lanka, and to do that, we're gonna need the help of some, friends later on today. I'll invite them in a bit, but I do want to say hi to all the agents who are watching ini. Yang satu ini, Mas Robert yang seperti biasa ini selalu standby. Mas Robert, silakan monggo bertanya tentang Sri Lanka. Siapa tahu ada teman-teman travel agent yang lain dan tamu-tamunya yang berencana buat jalan-jalan ke sana. Uh, itu yang aku lihat dari presentasinya itu sangat-sangat menakjubkan ya. Karena aku sendiri sebagai a tourist, a traveler, sukanya itu yang it feels like it's an all-in-one place. It's culturally rich dan juga ada pantainya. So hopefully nanti teman-teman travel agent bisa lihat seputaran Sri Lanka secara general gitu ya. Kita bahas selama satu sesi ini. And hopefully, if you do have guests that wants to travel overseas, Sri Lanka is definitely an option for you guys to consider di situ nanti gitu ya. Nah, okay, so I think without further ado, I'm just gonna pop up again this whole video right here because it's beautiful. Just I think you got a preview earlier of what the country has to offer, what the island has to offer. But for I don't think I can explain it without the help of my two friends who are gonna be joining me today. So without further ado, I'm gonna welcome them. Welcome to the show, Prabo and Jessica. Hi, welcome.
Hi, Dimas.
Hi. Welcome to the
From Sri
show.
Lanka.
So you guys, I forgot to mention earlier, you guys are from Aitken Spence, right? But before we get to the nitty gritty of the session, I guess, and then you can introduce yourself, right? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, so my name is Prabodhini and this is Jessica. So we are from Sri Lanka and we represent Aitken Spence Travels, and we are the sole partner of MG Bed Banks for Sri Lanka. So if I may briefly introduce you to our company, we are the JV partner of the TUI, which is the largest tour operator in the world. And we are actually a group of company. We are a conglomerate. And our Aitken Spence Travels group of companies has the presence in 3 regions: Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Maldives. So we also have IAS Aviation, which I'm sorry, I'm just and we also have our luxury brand under Curate, and then we also have we are the GSA for Sri Lankan Airlines in Maldives through AIR's Aviation Services. And we also have our Royal Spence Aviation, who operates Jazeera, Goa, and Fiji. And we are also the appointed holiday agents in Sri Lanka for Emirates Holidays. Yeah, so that's
Wow.
in a nutshell about us.
Impressive portfolio, and we are honored to have to be partnered with you, Aitken Spence Travels, right? But the exciting thing is the main point of this whole session today is to talk about why Sri Lanka. Why Sri Lanka? What's good in Sri Lanka, right? So I've never been there, to be honest, Prabhu and Jessica. So I guess the spotlight is yours. What can you tell us about Sri Lanka?
So the good news for Sri Lanka from Indonesia is there are direct flights through UL, through Sri Lankan Airlines, which is daily happening. And the duration is about 4.5 hours. So that's an interesting fact and an invitation for all the Indonesians to come to Sri Lanka. So as you can see, we are an island, and we are nicknamed as the pearl of the Indian Ocean. As you can see, our shape, the island's shape, is a pearl. And as you saw in the video, we produce the finest Ceylon tea in Sri Lanka, and we are the home for cinnamon, and we are the first country in the world to have a female prime minister. Plus, we have I would say we have the highest literacy rate in the South Asian countries. And in terms of Sri Lanka, so we are a very small nation. We have about 22 million population in Sri Lanka, and our main language is Sinhalese. So secondary is English and Tamil, but English is widely spoken across the island. So majority follows Theravada Buddhism, but we also have Hinduism, Muslims, Christians also residing in the island. We are a very tropical island, so our temperature ranges between 28 to 30 degrees right throughout the year. So it's actually we are a destination that anyone can visit right throughout the seasons. We don't have seasons as such. And we have 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Yeah, so that's about wrapping up.
I was gonna ask, what's the best time to visit Sri Lanka? Is it gonna be at the end of the year or the middle of the year during summer? But apparently, you just mentioned like, yeah, just anytime. Anytime is fine
It's
to
any
visit Sri
time
Lanka.
actually. Only
Yeah.
difference
Okay.
is we have two coastal lines. One is south coast
Mhm,
and the east coast. So where the east coast is more like white sandy beaches, very similar to Maldives.
mhm.
You can just walk on the shallow beaches for quite, I mean, quite a long duration. So there the season is from May to October generally. So in the south
Okay.
coast, the season is from November to April. Otherwise, the sea is a little bit rough and all. Other than that,
So
it's actually a year-round thing.
so stay for half the year, half of the later end of the year. You could move from the east coast and then to the south coast, kind of like that whole deal.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
exactly.
All right. What? Okay. So, you're already talking about a lot of beaches, right? So, but what else is there to do in Sri Lanka? What is? I'm guessing like tourist attractions. You can definitely explain that to us.
Yeah, so Sri Lanka is, I think most of the people refer to us as a beach destination because we
Okay.
are an island surrounded by beaches. But we are actually not only about beaches. Um, we have the skyscrapers in our commercial city. And, so we have our urban charm where the shopping and dining taking place. And we are also very rich in our culture. Actually, most is influenced by its long history and its Buddhist heritage. So there are some influences from colonization by Portuguese, the Dutch, and the British as well. And
Mhm.
of course, as I mentioned, there are beaches. So south, which is popular in one half of the year, and east then popular in the other half of the year. And we are also home for a wide range of wildlife. So we
Oh.
are the actually the only country which has um, the two big mammals, one on the earth and one on the sea, where you can see, as in the elephant and the blue whale.
Oh.
So that's a
Okay.
highlight of our country.
Okay. So I'm
Yes.
guessing there are. Do they get close to the island, or is there like some sort of touring? I guess
No,
tours
actually,
to
we do
kind of
whale
like.
watching tours. We do whale watching
Okay.
tours, and you can absolutely see the blue whales and even I mean, elephants and leopards uh, are a sight when it are a must see sight when it comes to wildlife. But
Okay.
we do dolphin watching and whale watching as well.
So, ditambah ya teman-teman agent, buat teman-teman mungkin tamu yang pingin, suka sama wildlife kayak gitu, ada paus biru, blue whales, and, gajah. Okay, we're gonna be discussing, 3 types of destinations, in our session today, right? You did mention that the beaches
So
will hold
before
off
you
until
miss
the end.
Simas,
Yeah.
I'll just I have to disturb you for a second before you miss out.
Okay.
In terms of Central Highlands, we actually have 382 waterfalls in our small island. So
Okay.
that's a fascinating part of.
So, yeah, just from, like, 5 minutes of us talking, Pravo. Definitely something for nature lovers, right? Sri Lanka is something that should be on your destination list, a bucket list for this. But anyway, we are going to be talking about 3 distinct cities, 3 distinct locales, I guess, 3 types of destination within Sri Lanka itself. Um, the first thing, the beaches we're gonna hold off until later at the end because I know everyone's excited about that. But we're gonna move on to the maybe one urban city that we're gonna be talking about, which is Colombo, that you're gonna be explaining to us. How far away is Colombo from the airport?
It's about 30 minutes drive from the airport.
Okay, and this is where all flights land into, right? What's the name
We
of the
actually
airport again?
have two airports.
Okay.
One is the Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo,
Mhm.
which is the most busiest airport we have, and the
Okay.
other one is in Bantala, which is in the southern part of the island, which usually operates during this current season, where most of the beach clients are coming, charters are operating. So then that airport becomes a little bit busy than the usual. But our usual passenger traffic comes from the Colombo airport.
So Colombo itself, right? You it says you typed out urban charm Colombo right there. So I'm guessing any business destination, any business guest would choose Colombo as their point of visit. What can you tell us about Colombo, basically?
Exactly. So Colombo is actually our commercial capital. So
Hmm.
that is why you see the urban charm of Colombo in here. So we have a mix of skyscrapers to shiny hotels to colonial era buildings, as you can see in here. You can actually enjoy a walking tour in the colorful streets of the lovely Peta Market, where you can see onto your left hand side.
Okay.
And you can sample the delicious street foods, to choose exotic spices, to walk through market streets and so forth. So it's a little bit of a hustle and bustle of Colombo over there. And as you can see, you can also enjoy riding the tuk-tuks. It's an incredible fun way to explore the off the beaten tracks in Colombo.
Yeah.
And you can explore the city, temples, wheels, architectures. Plus, also, Colombo is well known for its dining experiences. So, as you mentioned earlier, most of the corporates they tend to stay in longer stays in Colombo because most of the business is happening in this hub of Colombo. So we've got a lot of cuisine types taking place. I mean, Vietnamese to Chinese to Malaysian to um, Western to Sri Lankan to seafood. We are well known for Japanese. To it's a lot of it's a mix of cuisine that's taking place. And if you are planning of taking any souvenirs to show your loved ones or to do your last minute shopping, so Colombo is the place actually.
I usually do this. I have this question just because it's almost close to lunchtime for us, right? You did mention there is a that market at the top left corner, and you did mention about like street foods, kind of like that. What's iconic street food that you think of whenever you think of Sri Lanka? Bravo.
Iconic street food. I don't know whether it's exactly a Sri Lankan thing, but we love eating those. Yeah, you know vade. I'm not so sure whether you know about
Okay,
it.
okay.
It's a dal
So,
one. It's
mhm.
a dal based street food where you can put a prawn on top of it, fry it, and then you eat it. That's the most popular one in here.
Okay, dolls, huh? Okay. I
Yeah.
you just gave me an idea of what to look for lunch today. I'm gonna try that. But yeah, anyway, the urban. So a lot of hustle and bustle. I could see the charm of this. It's even though you did mention skyscrapers, but it feels like it's very rich in culture. The colors, at least, right? And the dining, all the activities you can do in the city, in Colombo. It's really great. And we're gonna go through a couple of properties that you are kind of like putting it forward for all our agents today. Three properties after this. What are we gonna go for first?
Right. So with MG Bed Banks, Dimas, we are featuring 15 properties in Colombo, mostly 5 stars and 4 stars, where we have the most of the demand, and where we assure the service levels to the best of the standards.
Mhm.
So Colombo Hilton is one of the best-selling properties with MG, and also usually one of our preferred partners. So the hotel has about 382 rooms, and they serve with three categories: Hilton guest rooms, executive floor rooms, and suites. And they have six F&B outlets. So they have a fresh seafood and outdoor dining, and an all-day dining, plus authentic Chinese restaurant to a karaoke bar and another sunset bar. They have connecting rooms, outdoor pools, and fitness centers, business center, and they have 21 meeting rooms. So this is actually known more for business clientele, even though we also
Mhm.
have leisure clientele in here. Um, and the capacity at the grand ballroom is about 500 packs.
Okay. Yeah, because if you maybe noticed the comment section, once we mentioned Colombo, they're already planning like I guess like big group tours and all like that. There's a funny question. We'll get back to that question later, but we are gonna be covering a couple of properties in these cities, right? Starting with this Colombo Hilton. What's next? Do you want to
So then we have
talk about?
Cinnamon Grand,
Mhm.
which is another five-star property. So this has, as you can see, 501 rooms, and they have five categories, and
Mhm.
they have the highest number of restaurants in house. It's 14 restaurants inside the property. So they have Oriental cuisine and Old English sports bar, fine dining, and a seafood restaurant, and also they have um, a specialty restaurant called Nugagama, where they serve delicious Sri Lankan food cooked by the local women in a unique village experience. So this is located inside.
Okay.
Whenever most of the tourists, whenever they come, they love to have a taste from this restaurant. And we have Indian, and then they also have their all-day dining restaurant as well.
Because it's authentic, right? It's what you expect from like
Exactly.
uh,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Okay.
that
Uh,
atmosphere is phenomenal.
yeah. I'm surprised. The Cinnamon Grand. I to be honest, I've never heard of this hotel, but it looks like it's such a lovely place. And the last one, the last property that you want to showcase for. Okay, this one. The Kingsbury with their design, you could see there's like pillars. I think it's aptly named, fit for a king, property fit for a king. But what can you tell us about this, the Kingsbury?
So this is actually just next to the golf green. So because of that, they have a bit of a sea view from the hotel. And all these three properties are actually like, if you take Colombo, all the properties are almost in the same vicinity. It's in the heart of the Colombo. Everything is so like it's all
Mhm.
in walking distances around. And this particular property has 229 rooms, and they have six categories, and they are also well known for their F&B outlets. They have authentic Japanese and Chinese and seafood, and they also have a fabulous steak bar.
Yep, we're talking a lot about food, and it's getting me hungry. Oh man! But okay, so this is actually a question from usually travel agents from Indonesia. They're concerned about meals, right? You did mention that Sri Lankans have a Muslim population too, right? How is it with like halal meals there? No pork and everything.
Yes,
Is it
absolutely.
something that's
Yes,
easy? Okay,
yes,
so it's easily
yes,
accessible for tourists, for guests at any places, right?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, we are serious
Okay.
about it because we are in hospitality, and most, I think all of these properties, they are halal based food.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. We've only talked about one city right now, Colombo. Buat teman-teman agent yang baru saja bergabung gitu ya, ini kita bakal ngeliatin tiga destinasi di Sri Lanka gitu. Beda-beda semua tipenya gitu. Colombo is a urban city. We're moving on to something that's I think catches my eye a lot, which is going to be Kandy, another region in Sri Lanka. Right? What's different between Kandy and Colombo? Maybe you could tell us where Kandy is first, Prabhu and Jessica, uh, in relation to maybe Colombo and the airport.
Yes, as you can see, Kandy is located in the central highlands of Sri Lanka. So
Okay.
that's actually the hill capital of Sri Lanka. It is also a UNESCO site. So the driving time is about 3 hours and 20 minutes, because if you take south, I mean, we the driving time is 3 hours and 20 minutes is because we still have not done a proper highway for that. So you have to take your normal route, or like you have to take the. You can also take the train and go. You have multiple options of traveling around, but usual driving time is 3 hours and 20 minutes, and it's actually surrounded by beautiful mountains, and so in Kandy, a visit to the Kandy temple is a must,
Oh,
which you can see in the right hand corner. Uh, yeah. And you could also explore the Royal Botanical Garden, which is on the top right hand corner. So this was actually formerly reserved exclusively for Candian royals to stroll through, but it's now home for over 10,000 trees and spread across 60 hectares. Uh,
okay.
Also, you can wander around the. There's a lake. It's a man-built lake, but as you can see in the sorry, in the bottom right-hand corner. So you can have a walk around this lake as well. And something that we would like to speak about is, you can see some dances in here, right? So this
Hmm.
is our world famous Sri Lankan Candy pageant, which takes place in the month of either July or August, where it's really colorful, and it goes for about like, and it's about a 10 days celebration, where parades are crossing across the Candy, and we get so many attractions around the world, just to come and witness this parade. And it's supposed to be the high peak of Candy, actually.
Okay. So striking difference, right? What you just described. It's basically if anyone wants to experience this whole like culture and hillside properties, hillside sites, and tourist destinations. Candy is where it is because you did mention it's a religious site. No, there's a main
Yes,
temple
yes,
there. Yeah. Okay. Uh,
yes, yes.
okay. So we're looking at the
It's
properties
a
next, right?
sacred city for us.
What's that? I didn't catch that.
I said it's kind of a sacred city for us.
Okay, so definitely for guests who are looking for that, you know, culture trip, culture vacation, Candy. And you did mention, I love trains. I love that you mentioned that it's accessible by train. I'm guessing you could access it from Colombo and any the airport.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, we
Okay.
arrange train rides for guests from Colombo to Kandy, and it's an amazing ride, actually. And I think more than traveling in the main road, it's a fabulous journey through the train.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyways, we're moving on to properties, right? Striking. You could see just from the big picture here, Earl's Regency, the first one, it's hillside. You get a sense of like it's wide open spaces. And then, what can you tell us about this first property, Prabhu?
Yeah. So before I move on to the property, Dimas, let me just tell you the
Yep.
difference between Colombo and Kandy. Colombo is more of a, like, yes, it's a very tropical climate and all, but Kandy is more into the cooler side of it. So
Uh,
it's a hill country, and it's the climate is quite cool over there. So
okay.
people, even the domestic people, they love to go to Kandy and do their vacation, because it's more of a different experience altogether.
Yep. Wait.
Yeah,
So it's at a higher elevation, I'm guessing, and it gets how
exactly.
how cold does it get in Earl's Regency? I mean, like in
Uh,
Candy, how cold does it get?
it's not really, really cold, but I would say, because usually our degrees range in 26 to 30 degrees in Colombo. But when it comes to Kandy, it's somewhere between 15, 16. Yeah, it's about
Okay.
18 to 20 degrees or sort of.
Okay, okay. For
Yeah.
anyone who wants to just kind of escape the beach and the heat for a bit, Candy right here. But anyway, about the first property, Earl's Regency. What can you tell us about this? It's
Yeah,
five
so with
star.
NG, yes, it's a 5-star property. This actually belongs to us. It's a part of Aitken Spence Hotels, and this has 134 rooms and with five categories, again with six F&B outlets. Yeah, and Candy actually doesn't have many bars because, as I mentioned, like it's not like Colombo; it's a little different. But in Earl's Regency, the difference is you can actually see two bars in, and
Uh,
it's in a kind of a. It's also, as you can see from the landscape, it's surrounded by the mountains, and there is a lot of greenery in that area as well. So, like when you get into the hotel, it's kind of going into a different destination altogether.
Yeah, I feel like guests who potentially go to Candy and Earl's Regency, they just want to take it slow, enjoy the rolling hills, the cooler weather, kind of like that. This is exciting. I mean, I get the difference with Earl's Regency. The next one, you do have a Radisson Hotel Candy to showcase here. What can you tell us about this one? Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yeah, so this is our best-selling four-star property in Kandy, and it's actually located in the heart of Kandy.
Okay.
Hello, I hope
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not lost.
No, no, you're not there. There's a slight bit of a lag here, but go definitely. I want to hear about Radisson Hotel Candy because this is a bit different. This is a bit different, but I can still see the rolling hills in the picture here. Can you hear it? Hello?
Dimas, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear. I can hear you. Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so Radisson Hotel Kandy is our best-selling four-star property in Kandy, and it's actually located in the heart of the city.
Hmm.
So it has 122 rooms, and it's more of a modern property, which belongs to the Radisson Group. And it's actually very close to the Kandy Temple, which you just saw in the highlights of Kandy.
Hmm.
Um, and the beauty of this is they have, uh, yes, of course, superior deluxe, and they also have the Lakeview rooms with them. So it's quite kind of a very minimum hotel where they have one main restaurant and where they have, but the uniqueness is they have a rooftop bar.
Okay. I can see this. I can see this. If anyone, I guess choosing Radisson would be a safe bet for travel agents, right? Because it's people know Radisson, and uh, I guess it's striking because you did mention it feels like it's a bit modern in a culture heavy city here, right? Prabo? Yeah. And but so,
I think we have a bit
so
of a connection issue.
oh, can you hear me? Is it okay? I can
Ah,
monologue
yes.
for you
So,
guys. Yeah. Okay.
yes, yes. Now it's
All
okay.
right.
Yeah.
So maybe moving on to the last one for Candy, right? Radisson Hotel. People are familiar with Radisson Hotels. This is a safe bet, safe choice if any of your guests want to travel to Candy, right? But the last one here, this feels a bit familiar to me because, oh man, what can you tell us about Maya Hills?
This is a fascinating property actually because unlike the other two which we just spoke of, this is located on top of a mountain or rather the top of a hillside of it,
Yeah.
right? So you have a breathtaking view from the hotel and it's full of Canadian architecture. So they have about 100 rooms and they are, as I always say, they have exquisite food. So that again, the difference in here is because Candy again doesn't have much nightlife going on, but this property has a nightclub inside, which is as well
Okay.
garage. So most of the
I
people
didn't expect
who
that, to
want to
be
be
honest.
in groovy mood, yes, they will come to my hills.
Okay, but you did mention. So this property actually has Candian architecture influence into it. That's why it feels familiar,
Correct.
but it feels like it's Yeah, I didn't realize it's so it's so I guess the word is authentic, right? Culture authentic. But are any of these three properties difficult to get to? Just because I think you mentioned they're on a hill, kind of like that, or how is it getting in there to like any of these properties in
Not
Kandy?
really, Dimas. I mean, infrastructure is being taken care of by the hotels itself.
Okay.
So, I mean, they manage it, the roads to everything. So it's absolutely no problem for anyone to move around.
Okay. Great. And the last place we wanna, I'm excited because I am a beach boy, Bravo, Jessica, just letting you guys know. Uh, we are moving on to the last destination in Sri Lanka, which is South Coast. The beach. You could see here the four pictures. It's just water, 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 beach, water. What can you tell us about South Coast?
South Coast, the good thing is we have a highway on now. So
Okay.
traveling time is reduced, I mean, drastically. So that's a good part of it. And when we talk about South Coast, I mean, there are different areas in South Coast. It's very well known. I mean, we have a hub for the surfing, which is great. And we also have some architecture in that place as well in the town Gaul, where you can see a lot of Dutch and Portuguese architecture inside. And
Okay.
it's well preserved actually. Then, as you can see in the pics, in the deep south, we do whale watching and dolphin watching, and also we
Okay.
have a fabulous nightlife in the deep south.
Okay. Deep South. When you mentioned Deep South, so that's just an area of South Coast, is it?
Yes, yes. I mean, because
Okay.
South Coast is consisting of a lot of cities actually. But
Ah.
further you go down, your nightlife becomes better.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay, that's something to remember. But definitely, I'm excited to kind of like listen to you showcase the last three properties for this session today. And then uh, now I'm curious about the whale watching. Just maybe one question before we showcase. Is that a regular thing? Do you guys provide that service of like having guided tours to whale watch and dolphin watch and all that? Can you arrange
Yes,
that for
it's
us?
actually running from November to March. Yes, that's the season.
Ah,
This is actually the
perfect.
season.
Yeah, perfect time. So definitely, travel agents who are
Yeah.
watching, book now. Talk to Prabhu, talk to Jessica. Where's the best place to whale watch? But anyways, the three properties that we want to cover for South Coast is Sheraton. Another familiar name, of course. But then, what can you tell us about Sheraton? Kozgoda Turtle Beach Resort.
Yeah, this is
It's a
actually
resort.
a brand new property for Sri Lanka. It's not. It's
Okay.
about 1 or 2 years old, and it has a stunning ocean view, as you can see. It's a fabulous view from your private balconies. Then Yeah, and we are also very, I would say, do a lot of give a lot of importance to turtle conservation. So this
Ah,
property
okay.
is actually very close to turtle conservation projects, and also very close to Gaul, where people.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of people hang out in Gaul as well. Uh, Tourists to domestic people to everyone. It's a very kind of happening place as well. So this property is actually very close to those as well.
It's in the middle of a lake. That's in the middle of a lake, close to the beach. Am I
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Am I looking? Okay.
Yes,
All right.
and the rooms are quite spacious, and staff is very friendly and warm, and food is excellent. And more than anything, I mean, you can just walk through the property and then go to the beach.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
yours.
That's very and the Turtle Beach again. I think you're just doubling down on like the whole wildlife and nature aspect of visiting Sri Lanka. Yeah, you've got a property here that you know you like turtles. Your kids love turtles. Want to kind of help out, I guess. Yeah, Sheraton Kozgoda looks like a perfect choice, and it's a Marriott chain. You know, moving on. Oh man, the your beaches are looking very enticing, to be honest, Bravo and Jessica. But okay, moving on to the next one. This is I think from what I've seen in your presentation, right, this one particularly catches my eye just because of the design. What can you tell us about this property?
So Le Grand Gaulle is also one of the fast-moving and best-selling properties in this region
Okay.
because it's seated just next to Gaulle Fort. So you can just walk into Gaul and you do your thing. And the architecture of this is actually it's a very minimal hotel. I mean, even if you go in, you don't see a lot of furniture inside, and it's very calm, peaceful. It's kind of a different place altogether. So it's a very small hotel. Also, it has about 57 rooms, but they have about six categories. And yeah, so the highlight of this is it's quite minimal because I think it's also built to the Japanese architecture as well. So there's a little bit
Okay.
of a connection.
S-
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's why it catches a lot of hotels that have like this minimal design. Uh, like I'm interested in, but you did mention this is one of the best selling South Coast property that you offer, right? Aiken Spence offers.
Yes.
Okay, can you party here? It looks like it's a very like party property. Is it close to like any like event space, all that? Would you happen to know?
No, actually, Dimas, the structure is very small of this property. It's not a massive
Ah,
property and it doesn't have a massive landscape. So people
okay,
come here, I mean, just for the relaxation purpose of it. And
okay.
whoever wants to, they can actually go into Galle Fort, or rather, it's a matter of going into Unamatuna, which is the party hub
Yep.
of Sri Lanka.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
very close
So,
by.
okay. Okay. So this particular property, perfect for getaway. You did mention
Yes.
you are showcasing the best. All of the properties you showcase is the best selling properties so far. But the last one that we're gonna talk about is this particular. It looks like a resort, Avani Bentota. What is this?
Yes. So Abani Benthuta is a four-star luxury hotel, and they've also gone through a very recent renovation. So they've upgraded their products in terms of, I mean, from linen to interior to exterior, everything they've upgraded, and because they wanted to be ready for the season after the whole COVID scenario. So it's a brand new property, I would say, even though it has been with us for the longest period of time now. Again, it's not a very large property. It has 75 rooms. So this property has more of repeaters than us.
Yep.
So there are guests who are even coming to stay for a month's time every year. They book this property and come. So that's the speciality of this property. And it's also, I mean, beach is fabulous. It's a beachfront property. Yeah. So for some of the tourists, it's like home actually because they are spending a month of their year in this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
property.
That's something that we haven't kind of like discussed. I'm guessing, well, at least the South Coast properties, they look like they're also perfect for like long term stays, right? It's close to the
Yeah.
beach. Everyone who just wants to like be around beach and go for like you know for a whole month. The three you've showcased so far looks like it's perfect to just kind of stay there. And okay, I'm looking at Sri Lanka now. I'm looking at Sri Lanka just to kind of like escape, just for the beaches. Actually, just I'm glad that we held off on talking about the beaches at the last because I made up my mind because of you, Prabhu. But we are at the end of your session right now. We did have a lot of like questions. Maybe I'll go back and take a look. Itineraries to sell for agents. Would you happen to have that? Let's say maybe for one city, for South Coast region, what would be like the perfect day for tourists to experience? Just party at the beach all day, kind of like that. Is that something
So in the
that's
sense of what to experience.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Well, I would say like it's Valigama is a perfect surfing hub for anyone who wants to
Okay.
surf, and this is the season for it. And then whoever wants to have a super party, in the night, then you can move to Hikkaduwa or Nawatuna or Mirissa. As I said, like, the deeper you go, the fun it is. And
Okay.
yeah, and then you get to do a lot of water sports. We also actually do a lot of experiences around the locals, as in, like, preservation of finer arts, and probably cooking demonstrations. We will take the guests to a seafood market, buy the stuff, do the cookery, those kind of very experiential stuff as well. And also we are very popular in terms of Ayurveda treatments in the south coast. Actually, I mean, people come for 14, 28 days of time just to get that wellness experience as well.
Okay. And one last unique one because I think this is very it's very good questions. A family friendly hotel. Maybe out of the 9 properties that you showcased us, what would be the you know which one would you choose yourself? Kind of like that. The family friendliest.
Family friendly, out of the lot, I would say Sheraton. Yes,
Sheraton. All right.
definitely
Yep.
Sheraton.
Okay. So that's another question covered. Okay, Robert. Robert's gonna probably win the
Because
giveaway
they also
here
have
today.
these private rooms in the where you get your own private pool, where the family can enjoy that only. So it's not actually, it's not exactly a secluded area, but then they sell it for families, so you don't need to use the public pool or something.
Okay, so I mean, we did get a chance to kind of like briefly cover all these properties. If any travel agents, buat teman-teman agent yang pengen informasi lebih lanjut, pastinya bisa ngecek di sistem kita because we do offer all these hotels, right? In partnership with Aitken Spence. I think we got a couple of interested agents, and definitely because we don't have time. Uh, Definitely, our sales team later can help out on getting some more information about these properties. But you did convince me to go Sri Lanka. I was looking at a tourist destination. I'm putting that on my bucket list. I'm gonna have to debate this with my wife potentially for a vacation spot. But we are at the end of our session today, Prabhu and Jessica. And I think before I let you close things off, we do have a giveaway. We do have a giveaway that we are giving away to a particularly active agent here all the way from the beginning. Already said hi. For Robert, Mas Robert yang selalu aktif di MG Connect kita, Anda mendapatkan satu free stay voucher di Cinnamon Grand. Jadi, for Robert, if you want to go visit Sri Lanka, you have a place to look forward to, which is Cinnamon Grand, right? Uh, Thanks to Aitken Spence, they are giving you away this free stay. But okay, I want to stay at the Cinnamon Grand too, to be honest. But I'm looking at the South Coast. Before we end this session, maybe Prabhu and Jessica, do you have any closing? You want to say something for the agents?
So we would like to say we welcome all of you to visit Sri Lanka, because it's the best time to visit Sri Lanka. And as you know your flight connection is amazing. So it's daily flights from Jakarta to here, and we are actually not a very pricey destination also, but we have a lot to offer. As you can see, like, it's not only beaches. We have a much more experience in platter for you. So please do come. Please send your guests, and yes, they will experience a world of things in here.
Okay. So urban cities, hills and culture, and coast and beaches. 3 things I look forward to. Thank you again, Jessica and Prabhu, for today's session from Aitken Spence. We are who are MG's partner. If anyone wants to look at their catalog, definitely check out our MG system. And thanks again for staying for checking in with us on MG Connect every Friday. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Dimas and MG, for connecting us. Bye bye.